Thinking of moving to Hartford, Connecticut? Before you do anything, you need to watch this. Because here's the truth. Some of the best places to live in this area are not Hartford. Within 20 to 30 minutes, there are tons of towns with more space, better long-term value, stronger school perception, and in some cases, significantly lower taxes. I'm Dave Jones, broker and owner of Dave Jones Realty, lifetime Connecticut resident, and I'm going to walk you through 8 towns that might make you completely rethink your move, and a couple of these you are not expecting. So let's go. First up, and this one is not a surprise, it has to be on the list, it is West Hartford. If you've been looking in Hartford and you like the idea of walkability, great restaurants, a real downtown scene, West Hartford gives you all of that without any of the baggage. We're talking Blueback Square, where you've got a Whole Foods, a movie theater, a Barnes & Noble, great restaurants, all walking distance to residential neighborhoods. You've got Park Road, you've got Bishop's Corner. The vibe is suburban and it doesn't feel sleepy. Now here is the honest data from the MLS in 2025. This is the full year numbers. Median home prices in West Hartford were up to $520,000, up almost 10%, 9.5 to be exact. And homes are sitting on the market for an average of just 14 days. It's one of the tightest markets in all of Hartford County, and sellers are getting, are you ready for this? 107.3% of list price, meaning buyers are fighting over these homes. If you snooze, you lose. The 2026 mill rate in West Hartford is 44.78, which is the highest on my list today. And I want to be transparent about that. West Hartford is not a tax bargain, but what you're buying is reputation, walkability, top performing schools, and resale strength that is hard to beat. For comparison, Hartford City's median price was $244,000, but the mill rate is in the 70s. So the gap exists between the two isn't as wide as it looks when you start to factor in the taxes and what you get for the money. In unexpected insight, West Hartford has one of the highest percentages of young professionals and remote workers who relocated here post-pandemic, specifically because they wanted a walkable suburb, not a car-dependent one. The demand here is real, and that matters for resale. Number 2 is Glastonbury, and this one is for the buyers who really want to feel like they have arrived. Glastonbury sits on the east side of the Connecticut River. It's about 10 miles from Hartford, and it has this really unique identity. It's affluent and suburban, but it doesn't feel stuffy. You've got apple orchards, farm stands right along upscale neighborhoods. There's a working class heritage baked into the town's agricultural history that keeps it grounded. 2025, the median home price was $567,500, up 8.9% from the year before. Homes sell in just 17 days on average, and sellers received 105.9% of list price. It is competitive. The mill rate for 2026 is 32.83, significantly lower than West Hartford. Glastonbury consistently ranks among Connecticut's top school districts. Go check out greatschools.org to get the current ratings, current test scores. I don't get into that on camera, but you should. And another unexpected insight on this one, a lot of buyers sleep on Glastonbury because they think it's too far from everything. It's not. It's 10 minutes to Hartford. Easy access on 84. Route 2 is right there. And because it sits on the east side of the river, it has less traffic competition than the towns to the west. If you work in Hartford Metro or from home, Glastonbury gives you serious quality of life per dollar. Here's the first one I promised you that I think is going to surprise you. Simsbury. Most people outside of Connecticut have never heard of Simsbury. That's actually part of what makes it so good. Simsbury is gorgeous. It's a New England town in the Farmington Valley. It has a historic downtown, the Talcott Mountain State Park with the Hublin Tower right on the ridgeline. It has incredible hiking and views, and the character that feels like what people imagine when they picture small town Connecticut. But here's what really jumps out to me with the data. Simsbury's median home price in 2025 is $508,750, and that is up 11.8% from the year before. That is the biggest price gain of any town on my list, and homes are sitting on the market for an average of just 13 days. It's the fastest of all 8 towns I'm covering today. Sellers received 107.9% of list price, also the highest on the list. And in 2026, the mill rate is 33.02. Reasonable. So what does this tell you? It tells you the market has figured out Simsbury is the place to be. Buyers are competing hard for homes because they see the value. If you're a relocating buyer and you snag something in Simsbury before prices climb further, you're going to look smart in 5 years. Another little known fact, Simsbury has a quietly strong arts and culture scene. The Simsbury Meadows Performing Arts Center hosts major outdoor events every summer, and that's the kind of lifestyle detail that doesn't show up on a real estate listing. But it matters enormously when it comes to quality of life. Number 4 on my list is Avon, and I'm going to call this the best kept secret in Hartford County. Avon is small, only about 18,000 people, and it's tucked into the Farmington Valley right next to Simsbury. It's tight-knit, it's low density, it has a low crime score. It's the kind of town where people stay for 20 plus years because they have no reason to leave. Median home prices in 2025 were up to $587,150, the highest on my list, up 6.8% from the year before. But here is what makes Avon's story compelling. The mill rate is only 30.75. It's the lowest of any town on my list. So yes, the homes cost more, but your annual tax burden per dollar of assessed value is lower than anywhere else in Hartford County. Homes moved in an average of 22 days, and sellers got 103.4% of list price. It's still competitive, but you do have slightly more breathing room than Simsbury or West Hartford. And a little insight here, Avon has one of the highest rates of executive level home buyers in the greater Hartford area. A lot of corporate companies relocate people specifically to Avon, particularly from insurance and healthcare companies headquartered in Hartford. They land people in Avon all the time. That creates a consistent, strong buyer pool, which is awesome for your resale value. Okay, quick pause. If you are thinking, hey, I would love to know what is actually available in one of these towns. That's where we come in. The team at Dave Jones Realty would love to help show you what is currently available in any of the towns I'm talking about. All right, back to the towns. 4 down, 4 to go. And the next one is where it's really going to get interesting for buyers who care about value. Number 5 is Farmington. It's old money with new energy in a market that actually gives buyers a little room to breathe. Farmington has incredible historic character. The village center dates back to the 1600s. Miss Porter's School is one of the most prestigious prep schools in all of the country, and it's right there on Main Street. The Farmington River runs through the town, and it is absolutely beautiful for kayaking, fly fishing, hiking. The visual B-roll potential here is off the charts. Now the data. Farmington's 2025 median home price is $456,500. And here's the interesting part. It's actually down from the year before. In a market where everything else is climbing, Farmington had a slight softening, 1.3% to be exact. For buyers, this is an opportunity. You're not fighting the same feeding frenzy you find in Simsbury or West Hartford. Homes average just 20 days on market still, and we still see them selling at 104% of list price. The 2026 mill rate is 26.62 mils, one of the lowest on my list. That combination and the relative price softening, the low mill rate, genuine lifestyle appeal, it makes Farmington a really interesting buy right now. Another little insight, Farmington is home to Connecticut's first major museum dedicated specifically to American decorative arts. The Hillstead Museum, it is a national historic landmark. It hosts outdoor poetry festivals on the grounds every summer. This is a town with genuine cultural depth, not just suburban amenities. That matters to a certain buyer, and those buyers keep demand stable long term. Okay, number 6, and this one I like to call the value play. It is Southington. Southington sits in the southern part of Hartford County, right along I-84. It has a strong working class identity, and it is proud of it. It has a real sense of community that you don't always find in the more affluent suburbs. The Apple Festival every fall draws tens of thousands of people. This town shows up for itself. In 2025, the median home price was $421,000, up a solid 9.4%, and homes sold in just 17 days. Sellers were averaging 102.9% of list price, and in 2026, the mill rate is 33.21. Very reasonable. So you've got a town that's appreciating faster than most, moving quickly, and coming in $150,000 cheaper than Glastonbury with a comparable tax rate. For the buyer who's priced out of top-tier Hartford suburbs, Southington does not feel like a compromise. It feels like a smart play. Unexpected insight on this one, Southington has excellent highway access. I-84, Route 10, it makes it genuinely commutable to both Hartford, New Haven, or if you have to go north to Boston or south to New York. That dual market appeal gives it a buyer pool that's larger than you'd expect for the town size. All right, number 7 is Rocky Hill, and here's where I deliver on my dinosaur promise. Rocky Hill is a small town on the Connecticut River, just south of Wethersfield, about 8 miles from Hartford. It's modest, it's quiet. It does not have the name recognition of Glastonbury or Simsbury, and that's exactly why the price point is interesting. Median home prices in 2025 were $365,000, the most affordable of all the towns on my list. That's up 3.8% from the year before, which tells you the market is healthy and it's moving. It's not overheated. Homes are averaging just 16 days on market, and sellers still got 103.3% of list price. Mill rate is only 30.24. Rocky Hill has one of the highest condo market shares in all of Hartford County at 50%. So if you are a buyer looking at condos or townhouses rather than single-family homes, Rocky Hill has a deep inventory for that. Now, the dinosaurs. Dinosaur State Park right there in Rocky Hill. It contains one of the largest dinosaur track sites in North America. The tracks are real, 200 million years old, and they are under a giant geodesic dome. You can actually make casts of the tracks in the summer. Tell me that doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. Rocky Hill is also quietly one of the most diverse towns in Hartford County. That diversity shows up in the local restaurant scene and the community character in a way that makes it feel interesting, not like a typical suburb. It's genuinely underrated. And number 8, the one I saved for last on purpose, is Canton, specifically the village of Collinsville. Canton is a small town in the Farmington Valley, about 20 minutes northwest of Hartford, and Collinsville is the historic mill village at its heart. And I mean historic. The Collins Company made axes and machetes way back in 1826 and shipped them all over the world. The old factory buildings are still there right on the Farmington River, and they've been converted into shops, into restaurants, into apartments. It's absolutely one of the most visually stunning and interesting small villages in the entire state of Connecticut. So now let's talk about the numbers. In 2025, Canton's median home price was $456,500, up 3.8% from the year before. Homes averaged 22 days on market, and sellers received 104.9% of list price, which is actually quite strong for a smaller market. The mill rate comes in at 33.50. The Farmington River Trail runs right through Collinsville. You've got kayaking, tubing, cycling, hiking, all within walking distance of restaurants and coffee shops. For buyers who want lifestyle, outdoors, and genuine character in a home purchase, Canton punches way above its weight class. Canton has attracted a growing wave of remote workers from New York and Boston over the past few years who specifically want the Farmington Valley lifestyle. The outdoors, the creative community, the fly fishing, the small town, without living somewhere that feels suburban and generic. That in-migration is just beginning, which means Canton is a town you want to be in before it gets fully discovered. Let's recap the final numbers so you can screenshot this and go on your search. Compare all of that to Hartford, where the median sales price was $244,000. The mill rate is in the 70s, 33 days on market. So yes, the price is lower, but once you factor in the taxes, the school, and what your equity does over 10 years, these suburbs tell a very different story. So who should be in which town? Quick note, I do not go over crime data in the video. That is intentional. Crime stats vary significantly by neighborhood, data source, and reporting period. I strongly encourage you to do your own independent research in any town you're seriously considering. Talk to local residents. Check it multiple times of the day. Drive through the areas you want to live in. Don't rely on any single data point, including anything I post, any comments down below, any Facebook group. Be your own independent researcher. Look, I've lived in Connecticut my whole life, and I know these towns. I know what it feels like to drive through them at different times of the year. I shop in them. I eat in them. I go to rec events in all of them. I know what sells and what sits. If you're trying to figure out where you actually belong in the state of Connecticut, that's a conversation I want to have with you. Give the team at Dave Jones Realty a call today. We would love to help you go browse real inventory right now that is available. And if this video helped you at all, please hit subscribe, drop a comment. Tell me which towns you're leaning towards. I read all of them. I'll see you in the next one.